Hey folks, it's the Master Hand here. You're not going to see me on camera today because, I don't know, I just don't feel like it. I feel like images are going to better support my points than, just, me moving around as myself, being a giant living hand and all that. But anyway, I wanted to talk about He11sing920. I'm going to try to keep my points as constructive as I can. His fanboy rants, I'm mostly going to talk about the PlayStation 3 fanboys, but I'm going to go on a little bit about the Nintendo and the Xbox 360 fanboys. First, the Nintendo ones. Pretty much all that's needed to be said has already been said by people like Big Al and the like. So I'm going to say on the Metroid thing, he does have a little bit of a point. I mean, I don't want to defend the guy, but he does have a little bit of a point. Retro Studios is extremely incompetent. They fucked over Metroid Prime 3's gameplay because they were so butthurt about people sequence breaking in Prime 1 or 2. I mean, it's okay if you don't enjoy the game, but don't you dare sequence break, or Retro Studios will have your fucking ass. And they were so incompetent that they decided that they had time for Thardus, they had time for the Omega Pirate, they had time for Flagra, but they didn't have time for Kraid, an important character in the series. I mean, honestly, I would rather have Kraid than all of those bosses combined. They're great bosses, I'm not saying they're not, but Kraid, or all of them together, Kraid. Plain and simple. Now, Metroid Prime 1 was still good despite that, but by the time Prime 3 came around, let's just say, despite being a devoted Metroid fan, I can't even finish Prime 3. And I'll even give him one last thing on that Metroid point, that I've seen some articles that are making me have a little bit of skepticism about Other M, because it looks like they might be fucking that one up. They said that Fusion might have something to do with how the story is structured. I don't know if that'll affect the gameplay, but if that's an indication, it might be linear, and no, just no. So moving on, the Xbox 360 fanboys. He hit the nail right on the head with the Red Ring of Death, then fucked up from there on. They don't just talk about Gears and Halo, although those are the big two. They tried to talk about, say, Prototype, like it was better than Infamous, despite, Universal Reviews saying the opposite, and they'll try to say the Prototype on the Xbox 360 was better, and, they do all sorts of things. They're not quite that narrow, although, he didn't really talk too much about the Xbox 360 fanboys. But, really, they're pretty easy targets, and he still fucked up against them. I mean, I hate to say that, because, I deal with them all the time on the Crazy Hand channel, but really, this guy just, I mean, other than the Red Ring of Death, he just couldn't make a decent point against them. And saying that Gears and Halo are the same game is like saying that Doom and Duke Nukem 3D are the same game. Oh, sure, from a distant glance, it may look like it, but if you actually go and play the games, no, they're not the same. Sorry. Moving on to the Sony fanboys. I just don't know where to begin saying what's wrong with them. I guess I'll try the price thing. Okay, anybody who buys an expensive system obviously thinks it's worth it. So, just because they defend the price doesn't mean they're fanboys. Alright, I mean, yeah, obviously, if you paid $400 for it, you feel it's worth $400. Now, where you really fucked up against the PlayStation 3 fanboys is the talking about the online connection thing. The reason why they talk about the online fee of the Xbox 360, you dumb fuck, is because of the fact that the Xbox 360 fanboys are always talking about the price of the PlayStation 3. Well, guess what? If you pay $300 for an Xbox 360, and then you pay $50 for the online connection, you've paid almost as much as the tray! I mean, it's like you could be a retard and figure this out. You can have an extremely low IQ and still figure this shit out. But Helsing was too fucking stupid. I always used to think that Helsing was somebody that was moderately intelligent, but just, thinks he's smarter than he was. No, he's not. Yeah, I think he used to be a knowledgeable person, but he was never a smart person. This proves he has one of the lowest IQs of anyone on YouTube, and that's pretty sad, because there's a lot of 4chaners on YouTube. But seriously, I mean, Could you really be that fucking stupid to say that it's not okay to talk about the price of the online fee? They're always talking about how Xbox has better online games. That means if you buy an Xbox 360, the only incentive to buy it is for online games, which means you have to pay at least $350. And if you go into the second year, you pay $400. The same as the PlayStation 3. You dumb fuck! See how much of a retard you are, He11sing? Oh no, you don't. You're too stupid. Seriously, I mean, I don't. It's like adding one and one together. He can't even do that. He's that fucking stupid. All those fat cells and not a single brain cell in your head. It's not supposed to be possible to function like that. Then he moves on to talk about Infamous and Resistance. Not mentioning Killzone, not mentioning Metal Gear Solid 4, and another thing. You really fucked up. I mean, it's not quite as bad as the price thing, but you said that they have more exclusives. They have less exclusives than the Xbox 360. No, they don't. Not anymore. See, that was true 2 or 3 years ago. Now it's false. And if you did your fucking research, like you claim you always do, you would know that. But no, I mean, you're trying to tell me that a few exclusives is more than a few more exclusives, and that's bullshit. Now, I'm going to link a video in the video info by Blackbuster Critic blowing what you said out of the fucking water. This was before your little Fanboy Chronicle console war thing, so you can't act as though it just suddenly came to news after you said it. No, the information was out there before you said it. So, yeah, there you go. I guess the fact that you end up paying, $350, $400, $450 for an Xbox 360 with all the online stuff like that, no, it isn't relevant at all to the console war because they can pay that much if they so choose, right, He11sing? I mean, they talk about how the Xbox 360 is cheaper, even though they end up paying as much or more. But, hey, let's just ignore that fact. Let's ignore the Xbox 360 fanboys' hypocrisy on that. And just act like they can be hypocrites if they want to. I guess the fact that you're a hypocrite, you're subscribed to hypocrites, you don't say anything wrong with being a hypocrite. But really, He11sing, no, just fucking no. And one more point, the yellow light of death thing, no, they don't argue like it's not a problem at all. What they're saying when they say it isn't a problem is that 0.3% isn't shit compared to the RROD's 40%. See, that's just one more thing that shows how stupid you are. Okay, maybe they should have said it's not a huge problem, or that it's a problem if it happens, but it's not going to happen to you in all fairness. Maybe they should say that instead. But really, He11sing, do you have to be so fucking stupid and oblivious to every factual detail possible? I mean, come on!